Hey Raghunath, tell everyone about our Patreon community.
Sure, Kaustubha. The Wisdom of the Sages Patreon community is an incredible online yoga resource. If you like the type of yoga wisdom and culture we share on the show, then our Patreon community is a great next step. This is a listener-supported podcast, and any level of sponsorship will unlock a wide range of live and archived classes, talks, and even workshops.
Raghunath teaches, I teach, and we have a host of other excellent teachers on topics ranging from yoga philosophy, asana classes, storytelling, Ayurveda, kirtan, cooking, meditation, and a lot more.
We even have an incredible online Bhakti 12-step recovery group.
So if you want to check it out, go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages.
All right, let's get it on.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Goa, Palolem Beach. This is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kaustubha. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to sunny Goa. Jellyfish-free South India, just how we like it. And what Kaustubha also is in South India, but a different part. He's in Varkala.
Also jellyfish-free.
Also jellyfish-free. Is it really?
I swear
Well,
it is.
so just because you didn't see any today doesn't mean it's jellyfish-free. They're there.
Well,
Yeah.
I've inspected it pretty thoroughly, and I have given it a jellyfish-free rating.
Really? Well, word on the street is so
Word on the
jellyfish.
street.
People are importing peanut butter. That's what I'm talking about there. Did you do that Goa research I ordered you to do, Mara? She did not. Okay. Anyway, we are in a small state of Goa, near Karnataka, and you are in Varkala's in Kerala, the state of Kerala, correct?
Correct.
I did learn that the state of Goa is actually younger than I am. It was established in 1987.
Really?
No, that's not true.
As a state,
What was it
is,
before that?
Part of
All right, look that up.
Figure that one out, Mara. Hey, don't just throw that kind of stuff out and not know what it was before. That's
Like United States started 40 years ago. That's all I know. They've been going to Goa since the 60s, right?
I mean, it's not like Goa didn't exist. It just wasn't its own state.
Maybe
the
it
town
didn't
existed.
exist.
Yeah, exactly. It was just part of a large.
Okay. Could have done that. Could have.
But still, what was it part of then? What state was it in? Maharashtra? Where? What? What was it part of? We need to
We'll
know.
get to the bottom of it here. All right. People are saying my mic is my.
So quiet.
People are saying my mic is cutting in and out. What is that, Mayor? You think it's the cord?
It's not the cord. It's your signal, probably.
How could it be my signal?
Well, considering that you cut out twice, yes, in the other show yesterday, it wouldn't surprise me if you're a little choppy.
No, but I know, but I'm moving in the video screen.
Maybe that's choppy too.
People can write me messages and tell me how bad it is. I appreciate that.
Seems okay now.
Anyway, we're happy we're here, and I'm finished my book now. Officially finished my book. Now I'm going through from beginning to end, reading it through. Then Mara's going to read it through, and then we're sending it right to the publisher.
You should send it to me, Raghunath. I'll read that thing through.
No,
You're like, not going through that process.
but I will give you a free copy.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay, give me a thanks. I'll take that. And you have two parts about me in there?
There's two parts of you. One when we got
Sure.
initiated.
Okay.
And one later, you and me meeting in Mayapur again.
Okay.
And we're meeting in Mayapur. We're going on Gormandal Parikrama,
Oh, that's nice. Those are good
What?
memories.
bathing in the Ganga together, holding pinkies, laughing,
That didn't happen.
holding each other by the wrist, swinging each other around in the jungle, laughing more.
I'll have to put my.
Tackling each other.
I think I may have to write a
Blood
response to
summons.
this. I may have to write a response to this book.
I
What's the title?
think it's gonna the publisher's like from punk to monk. It's too easy. Just keep it like that. That's what I said. I said nah, but everyone in their whole office were like, "That's the title. That's the title." I was like, "Really?" Even see, you know what? It's good to ask like a civilian, a hardcore civilian, like Kelly Skinner's here. She's like, "I like it." See, she knows nothing about this stuff,
Okay, maybe on
and
that
she
level,
likes
yeah.
it, so it's attractive. For you and me, it's sort of like played, but
Yeah, very played.
civilians, I think, might like it. I would like to hear people's response. Take a
When
listen
you
to it.
when you were writing, who did you have in mind? Did you have a person in mind that you were speaking to when you were writing it?
No, I was trying to write it to the most broad audience ever, non-hardcore, non-Krishna. People are just like searchers, you know.
But did you think of a person like I'm writing to Kelly Skinner? She doesn't know anything about this.
She knows nothing.
Did you?
Yeah, I write it to people who know nothing about it.
But I'm
Tracy
saying, did you personalize that rather than just like a broad group of people, like one person?
And I didn't personalize it, just a group of people.
I think you got to go back and rewrite the whole thing. you got to go back.
Says it's simple title, and thus it will sell. I think it's a great title. Ramit, she's good. She's non-punk, right?
She's I don't. Well, I don't know. She's got friends like Carla Cromag. Anything could go.
Yeah. Another interesting thing was while I was doing the read through yesterday, this random Indian guy came up to me and he goes, "Are you Raghunath Kapo? I saw you on Joe Rogan." I was like, "You are kidding." I was like, "What?" He's like, "It was a very good interview. I love the part on the Bhagavad Gita."
Oh, nice.
How crazy is that?
Very good. Beautiful.
Crazy. Beautiful. I tell you, you know, like the Joe Rogan thing, it just shows how like you do one like critical. Imagine if Joe Rogan becomes a Vaishnava. You get like 3 Joe Rogan types in the world to become that. This whole idea of like every town and village chanting the holy name, that can happen in a moment. Lord Chaitanya can make this whole thing happen like overnight. You know what I mean? It doesn't.
I believe
to be, like,
that.
this long build. It doesn't have to be this big organic process. It could just happen literally overnight.
Yeah, Bhakti's going to spread. We don't know how yet. We don't know what it's going to look like.
Exactly. And the interesting thing, it's going to spread with us or without us.
Yeah.
It's like Arjuna.
That's true too.
Arjuna, here's the deal, Arjuna. All these people are already dead. They're all going to die. You have the opportunity to serve me or not. The holy name is going to be spread all over the world. It's going to be popular. It's going to take over. It's going to join all these religious fractions together.
I think so.
And even our own fractional, spiritual path. It's going to join that together.
It makes too much sense.
Yeah, held on together from common sense, like you said, and broad-minded spirituality. I have great faith in all this stuff.
You know what's going to happen, Raghunath? I'm going to tell you right now. It's going to be like 300 years from now, there's going to be like these Vaishnavas, and they're going to be like very deep, pure Vaishnavas. They're going to be like, they're going to have the culture, but not just the culture. They're going to have the deep realizations, the deep etiquette, the qualities of great Vaishnavas, and they're going to be looking back at the history of Bhakti, and then they're going to pull up some videotape of you and me on YouTube, and they're going to say, "Now, these very lowly people, you can see they knew very little. They're poorly behaved."
The short, chubby one with the glasses, the things coming out of his mouth,
but still, they played their little role.
Their little role. It's like an ant moving a grain of sand to build Lord Ram's bridge.
But what a curiosity these guys were.
Well, you know what I used to say?
Like, thank you.
What I used to say was when we were younger, I used to say, imagine 30 years from now. I used to think like this. Imagine 30 years from now, like all these disciples of Prabhupada are going to be like 70s and 80s. And we're actually going to have real elders who've like walked this path for decades. And then there's going to be people in their 60s and their 50s and their 40s and their, you know what I mean? It's like we actually have a full-blown, that's what it is right now. If you get into Bhakti this year, when we had like a senior devotee, a guy was like 3 years older than us.
38 or something like that.
Yeah, they were not even that. A guy, when we were around, there was guys around like 3 years before us, and we were like, look at these guys have been around forever. It was now we have a fully all the blanks are colored in. We have actually a society where you can find people who've walked the trail ahead of you. Those have been straight and narrow. Those who take windy paths. And there's for whatever you're going through, there's somebody out there in this society that has went through it also. I'm going to give you a lot of credit, Kaustubha, because when everything was getting like political turmoil, craziness in 2021, and we sort of like, I was like, man, we got to say this, or we got to say that, we got to say this, we got to say that. You said, let's keep the main thing the main thing. Let's keep this podcast explicitly about hearing and chanting about Krishna. And it kept and you know why? And as crazy as this podcast is, and as ridiculous as I am at times, we try to keep the main thing the main thing. We try to keep the message of the Bhagavat and Krishna's pastimes and the spiritual truth as the main thing. And that's why the podcast, even for me, is uplifting. And
yeah, I think I love it when the podcast addresses current issues, but I think, as you're saying, but it does it not diving in and becoming influenced by them in a sense, but like observing them and responding to them in a sense. Yeah,
exactly. Because when you're really, because there's a lot of things to worry about. If you want to, if you want to invest some time and worry, I can help you. I can help you with that investment. Oh, you could say, people are saying, oh, the vaccine is now killing people, or they'll say that, whatever, there's chance of nuclear war at any moment, or there's so many, whatever. People can just worry about tons of things. Our economy is going to collapse. The interesting thing is, if you're keeping the main thing, which is my focus is on Krishna, in one sense, you feel like, you know what? Let the world crumble, let my body crumble, let my health crumble. As long as Krishna is the main thing, I am no longer subject and bound by time or terror or catastrophe anymore. That's why that's why this message is the main thing. And whether the Krishna conscious movement is strong or whether it's weak, or whether culture, your particular nation that you live in is strong or weak, or your economy is strong or weak, these are all secondary to the main thing, which is I'm a pure spirit soul. I've forgotten, and I'm in the process of waking up. And whatever Krishna wants to do with me in this body, a lot of things I can't control. Even if everything is perfect and safe and I'm organic and healthy, who cares? I'm sitting under there, me and Mary are having papayas for lunch right under a coconut tree. A coconut tree could have fell on my head, cracked my skull open. Who cares? You know what I mean? If I'm getting killed in a war or whatever, a coconut could fall on me and kill me. The fact is, am I keeping the main thing, or am I looking for others outside my circle to hate? Am I looking for an enemy on this planet? I say most of the enemies I have to deal with in my life are right in my heart and my mind. My mind. What do you think?
Nice. Well, what are they? You have little men inside there? There's some voices. Yeah, some voices in there.
Voices are from within the house.
Okay.
Not now, Satan. Not today.
Okay. No, I'm with you, Raghunath. And you know what? You and I growing older together here. We both just hit the 57 mark. But I do feel, because we've had good teachers, because we've had a great tradition to engage in, regularly. I do feel, in a sense, the blessing to just to have the clarity to say, okay, you know what? I see that I see this is going on. I see that's going on. I can sit here and observe it, analyze it, but not become influenced by it. The polarities in the world and all that. And again, that doesn't mean not recognizing injustice, not responding to injustice, but in other words, this is the point. Never hating, right?
Never hating. Don't get tricked into hate.
Yeah, trying to be understanding, trying to be, in a sense, forgiving. Not, in the sense that we can recognize that even in the darkest hearts, that underneath it all, there's the pure heart, and therefore you were responding to the darkness, but always seeing that brightness that's underneath too.
I also
maybe that's a little takeaway. How's that from Mary? Respond to the darkness, but always see the light.
Respond to the darkness, but see the light. Kaustubha, you prophet.
Okay.
Oh, man,
like that one, Mary?
Thing to say.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What was
it's
it?
Okay, I can't remember. I lost my train of thought. It was breathtaking, though. It was groundbreaking.
Okay. It'll come back. Yeah, it
won't. It's lost.
Okay, gone forever.
Give me one breath. It's gone.
Okay.
All right, forget it.
All right. Well, now how about announcements then? Maybe during the announcements it'll come.
Okay, Mara, you hold this. Put your knitting needles down for a moment.
We have
I can't say anything to her anymore.
No,
Predating Mara.
This is a
Predating
good
Mara.
thing. This is a good thing, Raghunath.
Is it?
Yep.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Actually, no.
That's
Make
right.
People appreciate it. All right. We have a
She
box.
gives me that stink eye once a show, twice a show now.
That's important. It was just me. I was all alone before. Now I got Mara here. You know, it's like
Everybody give me the stink eye. Bright Light's gonna give me the stink eye soon.
Bright light won't. All right. We have a Bhakti recovery group meeting at noon today.
bright light right now saying, "What's the stink eye?"
Yeah, exactly.
Bright Light, this woman.
Okay. There's no show on Saturday, and we'll do our Q&A day on Sunday at the same time, 6:30 a.m. Eastern time. And then also tomorrow for our Patreon members, we have an asana class with Josh Kane at 10:30 a.m.
Okay, so tomorrow at the same time as today. Then.
Correct.
Okay. Let's go. He's trying to find that. Raghunath's still. He's trying to find that lost thought. You're like a cowherd boy running around searching for like a wandering cow.
I was like, wait, I'm gonna blow their mind with this thing, this little nugget. Then you nuggeted, you double nuggeted me.
Sorry about that, Raghunath. I didn't mean to do that.
Nuggeted me. Okay. Ready?
Ready? Yeah.
Oh, I gotta say
Ryan,
also we gotta mention Italy too. Italy is happening. Go to wisdomofthesages.com, click on the events tab, go to Italy. It's a fun time in Italy with Wisdom of the Sages crew.
Why don't we
Mara will
just-
be there?
Why don't we just make an Italy little thing that you put before the show, and then we don't have to say it every show.
That's a good idea. Let's make an Italy thing. Should I do it?
Yeah.
I'll do it by myself.
You and I should do it, and we should be speaking like Italian a lot, like ciao, bella,
Hey, ciao.
you
else
know,
do
that
you
kind of
got?
thing.
What else you got besides ciao, Kaustubha?
I can't say most of the Italian stuff. I can't repeat. Okay. Like,
It's nice. I got my mom's Italian curse words. That's about it.
oh yeah, me too.
All right, let's do this.
Oh, Mary has-
Narayanam Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayat. Before he started the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta Prayeshu Badreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Tamashloke Bhakti Naishtaki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated. And loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Tamarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksurunmadatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus-like feet.
All right.
Lotus.
Maraji. Where are we at?
Reading from Canto 5, Chapter 4, Text 11.
Anybody see the
Yep.
girl chanting on the beach today? You did? Is that her name? Yamuna? Okay. Where's she from? Russia. Okay.
You know, Raghu, you know what I like to. Oh, by the way, I posted on Patreon the class I gave at the Flower Festival.
Yeah.
So Patreon members, that's up there. But in that, and I plan on posting a lot more actually. Now that I'm settling in, if we take Saturday off, then maybe on that day I'll start to post some of the stuff, some of like the stuff from the Eco Village, like the Bhagavad Gita classes and all that.
That's great. Nectarian nuggets.
Yeah,
That's
but
good.
what I was thinking, because I talked a little bit about this in the class that I gave in Chopati. Sometimes when I read Bhagavatam, Raghunath, what I like to do,
What?
I like to just picture Vyasadeva up there at Bhadika Ashram, right? Like
Yeah.
you see him sitting there. You ever do this? Like he's talking to you, right?
Yeah.
Or sometimes I do this with Prabhupada too. I see Prabhupada, in the middle of the night, up all alone, like he's talking to you. So what if we're thinking, as we read these verses, let's think, hey, Vyasadeva is up, he's writing this just for us. We're hearing it now. He wrote it. And now so many centuries later, we're hearing it. But he was picturing,
He
you,
got it.
Mara,
He understood
bright
the
light.
future. He
Yeah,
understood
yeah.
the future.
It mentions that he could see the past, present, and future, right? And so he's writing and he's saying these verses so that we get a certain message. He's this beautiful sage, right? He's sweet, kind-hearted, very learned, very
He's not
pure.
beautiful. He's actually sort of scary looking, they say.
No, Raghunath. Even if he looks scary,
I mean,
he's
it's
beautiful,
like
scary.
when you see someone like, well, she's beautiful on the inside, like that. It's that type of beautiful.
Well, what? Yeah, okay, whatever. But
right?
that's
Because
what
they
I'm
said
saying.
he
To
was
me,
scary.
he's
I'm
beautiful.
Just saying that I'm not arguing. He's a great guy.
You're
He's
talking about in the
delighted.
Mahabharata where he was called upon to kind of like for the prince impregnate
The girls
the.
were scared. They closed their eyes in fear.
Not all of them. The third one wasn't.
The third one who just was scared probably, but didn't.
No, there's no mention of her being scared. It's mentioned that she was actually quite loving and everything. There's no mention of her.
Yeah.
Maybe these other princesses were just like,
They had an attitude.
I don't know, but
Anyway, he wasn't into.
But when I say
himself.
beautiful, he was old. He was old.
I understand that. He was beautiful on the inside.
That's my point. Even outside, like just not like maybe like someone that you want to have your kid with, but he was like beautiful, He was like,
well, like sages either shave their head or they have long matted hair. I'm not saying
so he had the dreadlocks.
Shakti avatar.
And so my point, if I believe that if I saw him, I say, oh, look how beautiful he is, that's how I see him.
Well, I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go there in April.
All right, to Bhagavatam.
The Bhagavatam.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you what he looks like. They say he's still there.
You go find him, Raghunath, and then we'll know for sure.
He's a Jivan Mukta. They say or what's it called? A Shiran Jiva.
Chiranjeev?
He's still alive. Chiranjeev.
Yeah.
He's still alive.
Yeah. Okay, so let's hear what he has to say. Now, what's happening right now is he's talking about Rishabhadeva, and he's having all these sons. One of them who's going to be Bharata, who we're going to hear a lot more about in the fourth canto, or in the fifth canto coming up. But, we just read the text, we read yesterday, the last one, 10. It mentioned that there were 99. First, in text 9, it said that he had 100 sons.
Yeah.
And Bart was the eldest. And that this earth is named after him now. Like, even if you look like at the Air India airplanes, it says Bharat on them, right? It's like,
well, it's
Air
the
Bharat.
Hindi word for India
is
where
it's Bharat.
If you say Bharat Seho means I'm from India.
I'm from India, yeah. So it's to this day, it's still named after him.
Yeah.
And then it says in text 10 that there are 99 other sons. And then it mentions 9 elderly sons. We heard them yesterday. You read their names. Those sons, I believe, were like Kshatriyas. They were warriors. They were leaders. And now we're going to hear about more sons in text, beginning text 11 and 12.
I'm still fascinated with this concept that he could see the future. Imagine if you had that ability to see, holy crap, what the hell is about to happen?
That's why he wrote
Vyasadeva's mind.
He saw that this age was coming.
Can't remember anything. They're not going to remember.
Can't remember.
Anything.
They're always misguided. They're unlucky.
Forget that.
He saw that.
He saw it. He saw people are going to start using, need glasses all the time. They can't remember. They're going to be addicted to drugs and opioids, and they're going to not eat superfoods, and they're going to put pesticides. He got it all immediately. He understood it immediately. He's like, we got to write this stuff down. We got to start compiling this stuff. We are fortunate because now we have all this stuff. He had the vision to understand, we are, a hot mess express. And thank God.
Yeah.
All right. You ready, sir?
Hold on. I was just pulling something up. Oh, no. Okay. I'll try to find it. But there's beautiful verses in the first canto about Vyasadeva seeing the future, going to meditation. Maybe I'll find him later. Let's go ahead. Let's get into it right now. Let's hear about the rest of the sons here.
Okay. 11 and 12 here. In addition to these sons were Havi. I just met somebody named Havi. Antariksha, Prabhuda, Pipalayana, Avihotra, Drumila, Kamasa, and Karambajan. These were all very exalted, advanced devotees and authorized speakers of the Srimad Bhagavatam. These devotees were glorified due to their strong devotion to Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, they were very exalted. To satisfy the mind perfectly, I, Sukadeva Goswami, shall hereafter describe the characteristics of these 9 devotees when I discuss the conversation between Narada and Vasudeva.
Okay, you know what, Raghunath? So these 9 that were just mentioned now, these sons, it said that the first it mentioned, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those first 9 the elderly sons, they were all meant to be rulers, right? Like warriors, like they do managing,
Right.
managing the people. Whereas this group here, these were like they were more like it mentions that they're preachers of Bhagavatam. In other words, these are like sages, these sons, and they're all going to come back, and we hear about them all in the 11th canto. That's why when it says that it says these devotees were glorified due to their strong devotion to Vyasadeva. They were devotees of Krishna in particular, right? And therefore they were very exalted to satisfy the mind perfectly. I love how he says that I, Shukadeva Goswami, shall hereafter describe the characteristics of these 9 devotees when I discuss the conversations between Narada and Vasudeva. So that's going to come in the 11th canto. We're going to hear about that in detail. Wonderful. 11th canto is incredible, so we'll get a lot of great stuff like Prabhuda. We'll hear about these people.
Okay, text 13. In addition to these 19 sons mentioned above, there were 81 younger ones, all born of Rishabhadeva and Jayanti. According to the order of their father, they became well-cultured, well-behaved, very pure in their activities, and expert in Vedic knowledge and the performers of Vedic rituals. Thus, they all became perfectly qualified brahmanas.
So they were becoming brahmanas even though they were born in Kshatriya family. Right?
I also like the idea of they're becoming qualified Brahmins. It's like
that's right.
The idea of you get born into Brahmanism is such a misunderstanding of what it actually is.
Right.
It's like Jews say the chosen people, right? Like I'm with Jiva Life Coaching, born in Jewish family. They say the chosen, or the tribe, they'll say. But every culture, every religion's got that thing. Like, yeah, you're born into it. You're not born into nothing. You want to be a chosen person, you got to choose. You can't just be born into it. I can't have my father becoming a lawyer and then I just walk up there and start to represent people in court. Well, my
you gotta get qualified.
I gotta become qualified.
Yeah,
so this is what's different about Vaishnavism and the worship of Vishnu is we accept you in order to like really hold that title of leader of society. You have to become qualified. And what's the first qualification? Voluntarily taking a vow of poverty. Do you really want it? Do you really want to be the leader? Because that's what it costs.
Right.
Pretty interesting.
It's a cool system. I think we'll hear more about it here, but
it's an interesting system, actually.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Being an incarnation of the personality of Godhead, Lord Rishabhadeva was fully independent because his form was spiritual, eternal, and full of transcendental bliss. He eternally had nothing to do with the 4 principles of material misery, namely, bright light. I'm putting her on the hot seat, and she's looking into space, or she's in samadhi. Birth, death, old age, and disease. Okay, you got it.
Now, do you know the Sanskrit, Raghu? Putting you on the hot seat.
Jarna, Marna, Moksha. Wait, Jara, Mara, Jarna, Marna, Mokshaya.
You're doing it some different way. I'm doing Bhagavad Gita way. 10th chapter.
I'm doing it from the. Well, I'm doing the last verse of the 7th chapter. Jarna,
is it?
Marna,
okay. I'm thinking of the 10th chapter. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi.
Janma, Mrityu, birth, death, disease, and old age. Janma, Mrityu. So that's birth.
Jara, Vyadi. Dukkha doshana darshanam.
Dukkha doshana.
One needs dukkha dosha. That one needs to be dukkha dosha anudarshanam. One needs to see darshana. They need to see that these are the problems, in the world.
You have to analyze this. I'm sitting on this beautiful beach, right? I got the 3, Charlie's Angels here laying out on the beach. I'm sitting there in meditation.
They're playing the Cranberries over the loudspeaker.
Listening to the Cranberries for the 1000th time, a reggae version of Zombie. I'm ready to become a zombie.
That's why I didn't go to Goa. That's why I didn't go to Goa. Continue.
Oh, come on.
That's right. I'm hearing Vedic mantras over here, not the Cranberries.
I've been in Barkala. You got like salmon. Everyone's selling like sea squid on the streets. Anyway.
You're talking about.
Listen. Anyway, they're sitting out in the sun like the world is like my oyster. The world's the best place in the world. I'm like, no, ladies. No.
You're going to die.
And you know what happens? A crow comes down. 2 crows come down out of nowhere, and they attack this gecko. And they're both like tearing at the gecko. And the gecko's like running for his life. They drop the gecko. They fly to the air with the gecko. They drop the gecko to try to break his neck. And the gecko's like, oh my God, this is it. This is the minute. This is the moment I was waiting for. Death is here in the form of a giant crow. And they just devoured this gecko right in front of my eyes. And I was like, I get it. This is what sobriety is. This is understanding birth, death, disease, and old age. And it's coming for the Charlie's Angels here too, guys. It's not just life's not just a beach. Get rid of it.
Some crow is coming for all of us.
Some crow. Jiva goes, I'm half dead already. I got news for you. You're more than half dead. How old are you? 54. If you live to 108, you're half dead. Okay? Let's keep that in the forefront of our mind. You're like 67% dead. No. Well, you don't know. Look, the bright light is in total illusion. She's like, I'm not half dead. I'm 33. Yeah? You don't think people die at 50? People die at 35. 35, you're 98% dead, lady. Anyway, our point is we got to keep that in the forefront of our mind, not to spook us, but to inspire us.
Right.
Inspire us to not waste time, not to live our life.
Okay, but Lord Rishabhadeva was beyond all this.
Yeah.
Continue the verse, Sarga.
Okay. What do you think about that, Mara? Yeah. Noting it. She's noting it.
She's sober.
I think Mara is sober. He eternally had nothing to do with the four principles of material misery. Birth,
So that's when it comes to shopping. Then she kind of loses it, you know?
shopping. You know what? I did that to her.
Okay, you did. You got her into it?
I contaminated her with consumerism.
I'm just kidding,
Nor
man.
was he materially attached. He was always equipoised, and he saw everyone on the same level. He was unhappy
Nice.
to see others unhappy, and he was
Very nice.
He was the well-wisher of all living entities.
Super nice.
Super nice.
Yeah.
Although he was perfect personality, the supreme lord and controller of all, he nonetheless acted as if he were an ordinary conditioned soul. Therefore, he strictly followed the principles of Varnashram Dharma and acted accordingly. In due course of time, the principles of Varnashram Dharma have become neglected. Therefore, through his personal characteristics and good behavior, he taught the ignorant public how to perform duties within the Varnashram Dharma. In this way, he regulated the general populace in householder life, enabling them to develop dharma and artha, religion and economic development, well-being, and to attain reputations, sons, daughters, material pleasure, right, kama, and finally, moksha, eternal life. By his instructions, he showed how people could remain householders and at the same time become perfect by following the principles of Varnashram Dharma. Trivia question for my friend Bright Light. Bright Light, what's the word for householder for people following Vedic rituals? We'll say it again louder. Grihashra. Grihashra, almost. Grihasta.
That's the way Scooby-Doo may have said it.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo called it Grihashra. She's at that stage where she knows it pretty good. She's at that stage.
No, Raghunath.
Yeah.
So so we're hearing about Rishabhadeva, who again, it's Vishnu taking birth in a human family, right? And then becoming the leader. And it's mentioning his qualities. And these are this is something that I've been thinking about more lately, is that when we talk about the nature of the self, particularly in our specific lineage of Bhakti, that when we talk about what is the nature of our relationship with God, right? Are we one with God? Are we individual and different than God? Which one is it? What is the conclusion of our lineage? You tell me. What's the term?
We are eternally fragmental parts.
Yeah, but what's the broader term that's used within our lineage?
Chincha beta beta tattva.
That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, Chincha beta beta tattva. In other words, our tattva
simultaneously one with and different than personality of Godhead.
Right.
What,
okay.
Like a drop of ocean from the sea.
Or especially the sun rays. They use this analogy, right? Like a ray of light to the sun.
Like a drop from the sea.
But I think more than my body's use that one. Right?
No, they say.
They definitely say that one.
They say something about the ocean. We merge into the ocean.
And the drop becomes the ocean. Right? Well, we say. But in any case, here's where I'm going with this. is that a lot, because the Bhakti lineages, and there's 4 prominent ones, right? And we're in one of those 4 lineages. They all had incredible, great philosophers, acharyas, great teachers who laid down the philosophical viewpoints. And although there are nuances to these 4, they're all in basic agreement. And they are also responding to Advaita Vedanta, which
Time,
is
place, and circumstance.
yeah, and Advaita Vedanta is saying, well, you are God, right? Like, you just haven't realized it, but that's where this all goes. Yeah, non-dualism.
Sounds good, doesn't it? Non-dualism.
Well, this is where I'm going wrong. So because we're in lineages that are responding to that non-dualism, a lot of times we emphasize more our difference from God, right? Like our dependence on God and so on. But also, we are one with God, and we maybe we don't emphasize that so much. But when I read a verse like this, right, it's talking about the qualities of God. We are made of that exact same energy, right? Like, we're made of the energy of God. So we have these qualities in us. They just have to arise. But look at his qualities. And these are the ones that I think that, in other words, it's beneath us. It's beneath the very energy that we're made of, not to rise to this platform where it says, and mention 3 things here. It mentions that, I want to go back and find that it mentions that he was not materially attached. It mentions that he was always equipoise, even-minded under different circumstances. But here's the few that I really like. He saw everyone on the same level. He was unhappy to see others unhappy, right?
Big one.
Paradukkha dukhi, we call that, right?
Bhagavatam's happy to see people unhappy. It sounds like that's the point. Not. Yes, they are.
Well,
even if they feign like they're sad, like, oh, did you hear about that? Oh, that's so bad. But they're like, oh, at least it's not me.
It could, or worse. And I want to get into that. And then I just want to read the last one. And then it says he was the well-wisher of all living entities.
Yeah. Once you say this mantra, serves them right.
Yeah,
right. You're in Maya. Once you say serves them right.
When you feel, well, that's what I was thinking. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example, Raghunath. Like, sometimes, even recently, this happened. I'm not going to say names or anything like that, but there was like a big
names.
We want the names to say his name. So, so there was recently a big celebrity, and this celebrity, their whole persona is based on arrogance. Like, that's what they're known for. Like, just how arrogant they are, just how harsh. No. I met Hulk Hogan once. Yeah, I tried to sell him a Bhagavad Gita. He kind of blew right past me. He was very big, I'll tell you that.
Of course he was. They called him Hulk.
I met the Hulk too. I tried to sell the Hulk a book. What that Lou Ferrigno.
Oh, really? You met the real?
That guy's legs were so big. It's like the pants that he were wearing were clearly like, that guy needs like special tailors to make it. He was huge.
Really?
That guy was like massive.
Yeah, that's like the weightlifter's just gone like man overboard. You've done it. You went too far.
He was very big. He also was not interested. But in any case, this recently, some big celebrity who's, again, his whole thing is just about how mean he can be to other people. The things that he says to people that are just like harsh and humiliating, right? Like, that's what he's kind of built on. And like, some misfortune befell him, right?
Oh, okay.
And I recognize that within my heart, I was thinking exactly like you're saying. I was thinking like, yeah,
serves him right.
Yeah. I kind of like to hear that, like I kind of, and you know what? Maybe there's even a possibility that on some, that like that pure-hearted person could think, well, this may be good for him, but my feeling wasn't even like that. It was just more like, yeah, good.
Yeah, you got your karma, punk. And we're not allowed to think that. That's not how devotees think. We're compassionate. We're tolerant. We're encouraging. We feel for.
We wish well. We wish well for every living entity.
We wish well.
Yeah.
And once I find myself not wishing well, I should understand I'm in Maya. So that thing I just did. What did I just say? serves him right. That serves,
Serves him
him right mantra. That is
Gotta
a
lose
sign.
that.
Like, yeah, don't use that mantra ever again.
And you know, you say like we're not allowed, and I get that. In other words, like we're checking that within our own mind, but it's not even so much like it's just an arbitrary rule. The point is that because when we have a mind and a heart set like that, we are not so receptive to the power of the mantras, right? In other words, our mind is distracted and
yeah, the mantras won't work
because our mind is just
effective.
Cluttered. Our mind is cluttered with this garbage, right? So that means, you know, when I felt that, you know, I had to check it, right? I had to say, hold it, slow down. Why am I becoming like what I don't like in this world? Why is still within me is this animosity towards a living being rather than my wanting only the best for them? And, you know, and that's where you have to dig, right? Like this is where the people that actually become the real yogis, the real sadhus, they're trying to filter all of this stuff out of their mind and heart. You know, that's where the rubber hits the road.
I'm finding, my friend.
Yeah.
First of all, there's the very old version of me when I first got into Bhakti. It's like if someone did something stupid or something was cruel, I would just be like,
it's great fodder for a joke.
Well, no. I'm saying I want to actually
be like that.
Be the Punisher. I'd love to kick that guy's ass. You know, stuff like that. Like I want to give them their karma. No, can't do that. That's out of the parameters of spiritual life. So that's the first step. You can't give somebody their karma. The second step is when someone does get, quote, their karma, we should be well wishing them. But I'm noticing myself too, because I'm trying to like write. You know, the last few days since I've been here, I've been trying to write every night. But from 7 to 10 or 6 to 10 every night, they have like somebody comes and does cover music in the restaurant area of the cabina.
And what are the thoughts that you're thinking of these people?
Oh, first of all, I've been around musicians enough to hate them all.
No, you see right there.
right there. And I caught myself hating.
Okay.
I hate music. That's what came. I was like, they get on with the keyboard. They got the drums programmed in that keyboard, and they're going to lip sync the Eagles. And I'm ready to freaking kill people.
And they're Indian?
Like, this is wrong.
This
is wrong. I shouldn't have these feelings.
These are Indian people doing this? This band?
Yeah, they sound really. The one guy sang yesterday, I will say, he was awesome. He was very good. He sang it all on a guitar, but he sounded very American.
Okay.
And I was just feeling like, I feel like going to all these places, guys. Why don't you guys just play bhajans? Why don't you play Indian music? Why are we trying?
Why don't you go to Varkala?
Okay. Don't, jellyfish boy, don't play that out. I've been to Varkala. I've been to that seafood eating capital of India.
I haven't seen anyone eating seafood.
Walk on the cliffs. Walk on the cliffs.
I'm on the cliff.
You're not on the cliffs.
I'm on the south cliff. Oh, you mean the north cliff? Yeah, I don't go over there. Okay,
listen. Anyway, my point is, if I've got issues with them, these are my issues. If I've got issues with anybody doing their thing, especially things like, I'm going to sing a song.
Right.
Those are my issues.
Right. Let that go.
It's not like they're putting babies in, shoving babies in a shoebox. They're just they're singing songs. And if I've got issues with them, I've got major issues. Right. And I realize hate and hate is within me. That's my work to do.
Oh,
there you go. Happy to see everybody.
There's the takeaway from today. Hate the hate within yourself.
Hate the hate within yourself.
Is that okay? You down with that?
I hate hate. Reagan Youth.
I hate hate. Yes. Yeah, and even with the guy that I'm talking about, again, his whole persona
was hate.
Is about humiliating people. Huh? He's one of these people. I'll just say it. He's one of these people on one of those music shows where they critique you like crazy. And
that guy from.
That guy. Yeah. Enough said.
Don't worry. The English guy. The English guy was like, "Oh,
you're getting warm. You're getting warm." Yeah, that guy. Right. So it's like even there, where it's just like,
what happened to him? What happened to him?
I'm not going to go into it. I don't want to. I don't wish him any harm. I don't wish him any harm.
I'm curious what happened to him.
Is a plastic surgery disaster.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, disaster, but it was like, it's like he's getting, people are talking about him. Oh my God, look at his face. And there was something in me that just said, yeah, I'm glad his face got messed. Like that. I had to check.
It's horrible.
Yeah,
horrible.
it's actually really evil. It's really
It's evil.
dark.
It's actually evil. You're,
Yeah.
You're acting in the evil way.
You're evil, Kaustubha. Take away,
I tried
Kaustubha
to
is
tell
evil.
the people you were evil. They didn't listen.
So it's true. It is true. I admit it. I'm evil. My friend was in
You know
the
what? We
Church
have
of
to uproot
Satan.
all this stuff in the heart. That's the path of bhakti. That's the path.
That's
what are
my
we doing
point.
yoga in the first place anyway? Just to
Right.
balance our chakras? No.
Right.
No. You've got to uproot the stuff that doesn't even belong within us. It's just like if we actually want to see what we actually are, you've got to purge the stuff that you aren't.
Right.
That's what's
Who's this-
happening. Because you're
who's-
sincere, it's rising to the top. It's showing the universe you're evil. And now you
Yeah.
can address it.
Universe, I
Previously, it was
show you my
unrecognized.
evil. Universe, I show you my evil.
Okay.
Who's the guy behind you looking for a book? What's he looking for there, Ragnar? Little Osho or something? What's he going for?
Looking at the map. He's looking for a map. He's looking at the map.
Okay.
For literary fiction.
Where's
We're
he
in a
from?
public space. Where are you from, sir? What is Trinidad and Tobago.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yes.
What's he looking for? What book? Ask him.
He's not. He's just looking at
There he is.
any literary fiction. Literary fiction.
Okay. Anything you can recommend?
I don't know. You know me. I don't read.
Okay. All right. So in any case, I thought there's this here back to my point that if we are made of the energy of God, that's a beautiful thing to think about, isn't it? Like the purest, most powerful, beautiful substance that exists. We're made of that. And here we are feeling hatred to another being, buying into, identifying with, ideas that are just so against our nature, trying to find happiness in it. That's the point. When I thought that about the guy,
People relish hate. That's the problem.
you're trying to get, you're trying to taste it, right?
It's relishable, right? That's what Fox
and it's all based on insecurity, right? It's kind of like, oh, he's that guy on the show. He's got lots of money. He's handsome. He's like, and he's got all this fame and everything. And you're like, oh, good. His face got messed up. It's yeah. Now, if you're
relishing other people's disaster, how horrible is that?
it's terrible.
That's what
World,
cancel
I
culture
show
does
you
the
my
same
evil.
thing. Cancel culture people do the same thing. They find a person and they try to take them down, and they rally together hating. It's such a sick example of evil in the name of self-righteousness. Oh my God. In the name of
gotta get rid of it.
moral superiority.
Okay. So in any case, here we're hearing a beautiful example of Rishabhadeva, who's Krishna himself. He's
By
thinking
the
the other way.
I
We got to
think it's
rise up
very
to that.
healthy. It's very healthy that you noticed your evil.
Thank you, Raghunath.
And purge.
Thank you.
I noticed my evil when I wanted to
Wring the neck of that musician.
wring the neck of the musicians. But you know what? I did go to the musician yesterday. I said, you know what? You were awesome. You were awesome.
Oh, there you go.
I did.
Now chant a little Hare
All right.
Krishna. Just now take it to the next. Now you could kind of plant the seed. Hey, you're really great. Have you ever tried like any of like the traditional stuff? Like little Maha Mantra maybe?
Yeah.
Try dropping that on him tonight, Raghunath.
The Maha Mantra. Let me go up there and sing with him. Okay, everybody, dance.
Little youth of today. It's a little youth of today.
Starts crying.
All right. Okay, text 15. Hit it.
Whatever action is performed. Oh wow, they quote the Bhagavad Gita. Whatever
Kinda.
action is performed by a great man, common men follow. Who knows that verse? Well, you do. Yad yad acharati
Chariti Shreshtas. Yeah.
tattarivataro janaha. Okay. Although Lord Rishabhadeva
Well,
knew
why don't you
everything-
read the commentary to this verse, Raghunath?
to 15?
Yeah, to 15.
Sure. Hold on a second. Clicking on it. Scrolling. A similar verse is also found in Bhagavad Gita 3:21. It is essential for human society to have a section of men, we'll say men and women, that's how they talked back then, perfectly trained as qualified brahmanas according to the instructions of Vedic knowledge.
Okay, so
Those
this is what
who,
we're talking about earlier, right? Like there needs to be some people, right? They're not getting, they're not on anyone's payroll, and they're going to be deeply spiritual, and they're going to guide society. Okay, let's hear
Well
more.
put. They're not on someone's payroll. They can't be
Yeah.
purchased.
Right.
Right.
Truth
It's just
speakers.
sort of, yeah. Yes, we know the deal. Those below the Brahminical qualification, the administrators, the merchants, the workers, should take instructions from those ideal people who are considered to be intellectuals.
Yeah, and here we don't mean just any type of intellectuals, right? But they have their minds engaged in this deeper truth, this deeper knowledge, and they're it's just not like you have to do what we say, but the point is we can reveal to you how to find your higher nature, right? Like we can show you, hey, you're a business person. Don't think about just making profits. Think about caring for people. Hey, you're like a ruler, like, a politician or some kind of ruler. Be very careful. You know what? If you're not careful and kind and protective of everyone, you're going to get so much bad karma. You're going to suffer so much. Sure. Your job is to care for people. So they're sharing ethics that make everyone's life better. Right? That's the idea. Okay.
No one can stay here, even if he makes a compromise with misery.
What, you jumped a little bit, didn't you?
I skipped.
I think so.
Those below the Brahminical qualifications, administrators, merchants, and workers, should take instructions from those ideal people who are considered to be intellectuals. In this way, everyone can be elevated to the highest transcendental position and be freed from material attachment. So these are the guys who are like making the laws, who are like creating, it's not like these guys are directing society. It's not like we're just going to take a vote. If a person is very attached to bad habits, do we want to take a vote of people engaged in bad habits? They're going to vote for something poor. You get a group of people who are detached, who are can't be purchased, who are intellectual, who can understand a broader picture of how society works, and let them run society.
Yeah, and their power is based on their ability to inspire, right? They should be speaking with such truth and such clarity and such beauty and such compassion that everybody kind of gets it. Hey, they're onto something good here. Let's follow their good instructions.
The material world is described
as
in this way, everyone can be elevated to the highest. Okay. The material world is described by Lord Krishna himself as Dukhalayam Asashvatam, a temporary place of misery. By the way, that doesn't mean we're depressed and we see the cup half empty. Why is it miserable? Because you're a gecko, my friend. Do you understand? It's a world of crows and you're a gecko, and it's only a matter of time. You're going to run across the beach. And what's the gecko doing anyway? What's he doing on the beach? He's trying to kill somebody. He's trying to kill a little whatever geckos eat, flies. That's what he's looking to kill a fly, and the crow is trying to kill him. This is what we're dealing with, and that's why it's called a place of misery.
Gotcha.
Because we live in a little bubble of peace here in Goa, where where we're not being actively killed. We think, hey, the world's great. You just got a bad attitude. No, it's being realistic. It's a world of pain where the crows of the material world are trying to rip your head off your shoulders.
Right.
Okay.
There you go.
As soon as one gets a material body, he becomes Deha Brit or Dehi. In other words, he is subjected to all the material conditions. The leaders of society must be so ideal that by following them, one can be relieved from the clutches of material existence.
That's what they're meant to be like.
Yeah. It took me a while to get this point, Prabhu. It took me a while because I was a very PMA positive kid. And then when I read these books like The Material World's a Miserable Temporary Place, I'd be like, what's up with these yogis? Why are they so down? Why they have to, turn that frown upside down? Sort of like Bright Light is, Kelly Skinner. She's like there with the crystal. She's there, got her salt lick, a pink Himalayan salt lick lamp, flowing robes. She's very
Everything's
positive.
beautiful. Everything's good.
Beautiful, isn't it? Bright Light. I can use for
Listen, Bright Light.
It's miserable. It's miserable. What do you think about that, Mara? Isn't it amazing? I put the mic near Mara and she just like pulls away like it's kryptonite.
Well, it's time for the takeaways. So.
Salt lick lamp.
I'll take the mic for the takeaways. Okay. Lord Chaitanya can make bhakti spread overnight.
Lord Chaitanya can do that.
He's going to.
Yeah. Keep the message of the Bhagavat as the main thing.
Booyah.
If you stay focused on Krishna, you aren't bound by anxiety or fear. Jeez, I
Jiva,
got
G,
G over here.
Jiva G. Jiva G is just like me. Actually, I'm like Jiva G light. I'm like Diet Jiva G.
What is she doing?
Oh, she's just over there. She's like, that's a little long-winded.
Okay.
Anything out of her mouth. We're eating. Me and Mary have this completely big plate of fruit, and we were eating passion fruit. She's like, it's like an oyster. I was like, okay. And then she's like, what's that thing? Like a baked potato. And then whatever I was eating, it was like she had some criticism for my fruit.
Yesterday's meal too. When you're wow, look at the artist back there. It's beautiful.
I know. They made us this beautiful plate and they spattered like date palm syrup on the plate artistically. I was like, how beautiful. She's like, yeah, it looks like I'm not going to tell you what it looks like.
All right, back to our takeaways.
Back to our takeaways.
I like calling my new name is Diet Jiva G.
Respond to the darkness, but see the light.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. I see the light.
Through the clouds, I see the light.
Want to become a chosen person? Become qualified.
Okay.
Or just choose God.
Serves him right is a red flag. You're in Maya.
Serves him right is a red flag that you're in Maya. I like that.
Filter out animosity and be a well-wisher to all.
Filter.
Nice.
Hate the hate within yourself.
Reverse osmosis the hate.
Oh,
And-
nice. Very nice.
I was thinking about filters.
Oh, hold it. I haven't queued up the music yet. Just one second here, Mary. And hit it.
And it's a world of crows, and we're all geckos.
Ooh. And they're gonna pull your head off. Thanks to everybody who supports us, shows up regularly, is commenting on our stuff. Thank you. If you like what we're doing, it's a community-supported podcast. Go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages. Monthly contribution. You think this food is worth $1 a day? You put in $30 or $31, $28, whatever your month is. And give us a little support. Give us $3. If you think this food is worth like 1/30th of a dollar.
Does that mean that I get all of it?
If you think I'm worth a penny, then you contribute 30 cents a month. Whatever you want. Just give from the heart. Go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages. What do you used to say to people when you're asking for a donation for Bhagavad Gita? Give from the heart. What do you say?
I suppose something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, what do you say?
Something like I don't remember. So long ago. I don't remember.
This little golden book. You know what I'd say when distributing the Chaitanya Charitamrita? This is a little golden book of something. What did I say? Golden book of something.
Wisdom.
Chaitanya means the
Life
nectar
force.
of
I remember
the
you saying that.
The life
No,
force.
Yeah, life force.
And this is about the life force in you. What do people think when they open up Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela? What? Haridas Thakur, Ramananda Roy, what?